Hello there and welcome to this vlog of October 2022, and today I'm going to be talking about MegaMek. Before I get into that though, just a little bit of housekeeping. I didn't actually do a video last week, which I will obviously usually release on a Friday. I just completely ran out of time, and I was also recording something else, a bit of a top secret project that I can't discuss at the moment, but that should all become obvious over the next 2 or 3 months what's going on, but at the moment just keeping it all under wraps. Sounds very suspicious, that, doesn't it? But it is quite good and it's quite exciting for me anyway. So a lot of my time in terms of like what I'm doing on YouTube is focused on that at the moment, and work's very busy as well. So it kind of got to Thursday last week and I was like, yeah, don't have time to actually literally sit and record a video. So it's now Sunday. So I'm doing this today, obviously. I'll release it today, and this will actually cover the Friday video that's supposed to be coming this upcoming week. So it's one video in over 2 weeks, as opposed to my usual 2 in 2 weeks, if that makes sense. I'm hoping to get back into a proper schedule. I mean, I don't usually miss that many Fridays, but just occasionally at the moment. I think, especially until about Christmas, things could be slightly manic for me. Not just the other project that I was talking about, but just in terms of like workloads, and I'm moving house and it's all a bit crazy. So I'll try to keep up to this as much as I possibly can. And it's not just like willful neglect. I literally sometimes just run out of time, unfortunately. So yeah, a bit of housekeeping out of the way. So let's talk about MegaMek. MegaMek is basically just a classic BattleTech tabletop simulator. It's very, very well. I was kind of just gonna say very, very, very similar to tabletop. I think it's just identical. I think they've just built in like all the rule systems. Some of it though you can change, so they've kind of built in a lot of the extra rule sets that you get in like the technical manuals. So it's classic BattleTech to like the core rules, but then there's things inbuilt that you can choose to run as well. I don't think there is everything, but I think they've like cherry picked some things that they can like throw in there just for like better user experience. So that's obviously great to see. This is a software as well that I believe is just made by the community. It's not something that I think is done for profit. At least I certainly was able just to go and download it free, which I will incidentally put the links below if you want to go and get that. But I think like, just in terms of, I mean, I don't know how people do this. Like, I know it'll be a community driven thing, so it'll probably be several people, maybe even, maybe several dozen people who are basically adding to this, but it's just freeware. They've done a phenomenal job. I mean, they presumably don't have vast amounts of resources behind them. So just for them to get it into the state that it's in, I think it's a massive achievement. So, I love things like this. I mean, it's so healthy for the community, and there's so much that like extra dimension that it gives the game. And like for me as well, I mean, I'd love to play the tabletop BattleTech game, but this is something where, like, because it's got like a bot that you can play against, you can just like, if you get bored one evening or whatever, or maybe your usual gaming circuit is down for a couple of months for reasons, you can just kind of get your tabletop fill through something like this. There are obviously quite a few platforms that do this. There are literally ones where you can see like a 3D image of terrain, and put the models on there and things like that. I think that is just called Tabletop Simulator, right? I think it's like something on Steam, but this is actually like proper core BattleTech on the 2-dimensional maps as well. So everything about it reflects what we are used to within like the old 80s game. And they've just got so many units in there as well. I think I've been going through it over the last couple of weeks. I can't see anything in there that's missing. It's just packed full of the mechs and the vehicles and, all that good stuff that we know and love. So what I'm going to do today is Well, first of all, just to say, really, this isn't a review because I don't know MegaMek well enough to review it. It's something that I've known about it for a long, long time. I think most people who are into BattleTech do know about it. But it's only something relatively recently that I've really got into. And I think in a way that kind of places me quite well to give a little bit of discussion about it, because it's not something that I've been playing for years and years. So I'm not kind of ingrained into the culture of playing tabletop games digitally, if you want to put it that way. But I think for me, it's like I can well see the advantages to it, but I still don't think it's any real substitute for the actual tabletop game. I say that it sounds a bit weird, that, because it is literally the same thing. But maybe I'll maybe expand on that a little bit as we go on here. So first thing to note, obviously, is we've got the lovely artwork here. This is very like classic BattleTech looking. I believe this is the Iridani Lighthorse here against some Clan Jade Falcon, I'd imagine. I can't really see who the clan are there, but I mean, they are in that putrid green, so I do presume that is the old the Jade Falcon there. These are certainly the Iridani Lighthorse, so you can see there the little black horse on the yellow background there on what I think, is that the Highlander, I think? Actually, it's got like a Highlander's head, but it's got a very weird weapon loadout. Anyway, yeah, we'll bypass that. Certainly a crab and a warhammer over there, though. Anyway, yeah, ignore the picture. Ignore the flashing lights. I'm just going to go right into start a game here. So, one thing I want to note right off the bat is just how easy this is. I mean, you can literally, and again, the link will be down below, you just put the name in of whatever your faction is, or your own name, or whatever, and getting it, even downloading it, is like super easy. It's what I mean. When I first, this is ages ago, but when I first like put it on my computer, I think this is actually the latest version. When I first got it on a while ago, I was expecting a much like rougher road of Resistance to get this up and running, because it's fan made, and I thought it'll be really patchy and it will crash quite a lot. Well, yes, it does. I have had it crash a few times, but again, that's understandable given that it's just like, freeware from volunteers. And you can get around that obviously by saving the game. I think there is actually a button that you can do in the options for like a paranoid save or something like that. So there is that option. But on the whole, like just getting it onto your computer is really, really simple. As is just to start a game. As you can see here, there's no like craziness going on. Now, just to make a point here, I'm just going to play like against a bot. I'm not going to kind of go into a network or anything like that. So this is just for you. If you just want to kind of download this and just get a game going, you can do it like really, really quickly. So you just go into OK here, and you get a screen up which gives you basically it's you select your map and select your units. Now, just for the sake of brevity, I have actually just auto-loaded, or I've got one of my unit lists saved here. So I'm just going to load in Kismet Lance from the Dust Counters. This is actually the real lance that the Dust Counters use. This is their kind of starter lance and the four main characters. You can see it's pretty cool. You can kind of access little like photographs of mech warriors there, which just gives that little like added flavour. The colour is wrong though there. The colour should be purple, so I'll change that. I must have been incorrect in the save. I can actually, it's a good thing for me to show you this. I can actually now just save over that by going into Kismet Lance again, saving over that, and then the next time I load it up, it will be purple. Dust Counters do traditionally rock purple and yellow, but there's no dual options here. So the primary colour that they use is purple. So this is again, this is a pre-saved like lance, just so that you can see what it will look like if you really kind of drill down into it. You can click into each one here, and you can kind of change the names, the call signs, the gunnery and the piloting skill. Obviously, if you change the gunnery and the piloting, then the battle value changes, just as in regular tabletop BattleTech. There are also, I think you need to go and click something in the options to do this, but there are all those like weird and wonderful piloting skills here as well, which I've actually not done on these, but you've got this like, like jumping jack. It might tell us if we hover over here. It does. That's very useful. Unit only suffers a +1. Oh, disappeared. Unit only suffers a +1 to hit penalty for jumping rather than the +3 to hit penalty, so that's quite useful. So things like that are, I mean, they're like little added bonuses that you get in there that I think are super, super fun. Again, I've not necessarily done it for these guys, but you can potentially do that. I don't know, just interesting to see. Let's just see if this adds to battle value here. And it doesn't. So yeah, you'd have to agree that then if you were playing over a network with people, you'd certainly have to agree to that beforehand, because those piloting skills can be quite crunchy. So just in terms of the photo as well, very simple. If we click on it, you just get a full list here of, just expand this a little bit. There's like a very nice inbuilt like photography session. Just for, I think there's just like hundreds of mech warriors and like vehicle pilots and all kinds of titles and photos and outfits in there. So that's great. You've obviously got like the male and the female pilots. You've then got like specialists, like you've got Black Widow Company there, which is quite fun. But, you know, just for the sake of like the Dust Counters, just regular old schlubs really. So I'm certainly not going to be giving them like the Wolf Dragoons photos. That's all to really say about that bit. This is then, so this is I'm like Team 1 here. So with the Dust Counters, Team 1, all good. Then you put your opposition in. So the easiest way to do that is just to add bot. You can then, this is quite fun as well. So this is the Princess bot. Don't know why they've named it Princess, but there you go. You can actually set the well, it's kind of I suppose you'd call it like the behaviour of a force. So you've got like, you can put in there, for instance, like a striker force, and it like increases the AI's like bravery, whereas it lowers their piloting caution. You can then call this a particular thing. So let's just call this pirates, whatever. You then see that they are Team 2 when you add that in. Now, basically what I'll do is I'll create their lands now. So the Dust Counters is a regular old 6,000 battle value. I purposefully made them so that I can play them in like tournaments, because you usually do find that you can run like, you know, to 6,000 battle value in 3025 quite easily. Sometimes people will say 5,000, but if they do that, I'd just drop all their piloting and gunnery skills to 4-5, so that actually does work quite well. Just in the pirates though, I'll create that force just so you can see how easy it is. So you go to add a combat unit and you get this beautiful list here of basically everything in BattleTech. We're just going to keep it to mech, so I'm not going to go into any of the like the infantry or anything more elaborate than just the usual mechs. Now you can see there are 3 like tabs here. There's Inner Sphere Introductory Box Set. So these are like your really regular mechs. Stuff like, you know, your common garden variety mechs that you find in everyday life. You've then got the ISTW non-box set. This is usually mechs that you find like in the Star League era, and like well, non-obvious mechs. A good example actually is here. Like I've got the Lancelot. This is the LNC25 Mark 01. This is actually this is Jessica's like hereditary Lancelot, and it's something that it comes from the Star League. It's a very, very fancy, powerful mech. You can see there by its battle value, it's coming in at 1,564. The catapult is the highest value, but that's because Lemuel's got a gunnery of 3, so that gives him the, you know, that puts him over really. But this Lancelot is really quite powerful. It's got double heat sinks in there. It's got an amazing engine. It's a 6.9, which for a 60-ton mech is fantastic. But if you want any of the fancy mechs, you have to go to this ISTW set here. So you can see if I type in Lancelot, for instance, these are all, because Lancelot is a very fancy mech. You know, it's not something that's that common. So you can see that the one that I'm rocking here is listed. Whereas if I go to the introductory box set, you see there's just the 02, and this is basically like the Succession War era Lancelot. So you can see that if you go to its like heat sinks here, it's got heat sinks just 19 single. Whereas if we go to the 01 version here, you can see it's got 13 double heat sinks. So basically much better heat management there. I think they've got similar, if not they're like identical weapons. So it's just got 2 L lasers, a PPC and an M laser, and the regular Succession War version has the same. It's just that the variant that Jessica's running there is much more heat efficient. I'm not sure. I've not checked on like armor values and stuff like that. It may be better at certain other things. You've then got clan TW there, so you've got all your usual clan variants. Like you can see there, we've got the Cougar and the Cauldron Born. So they're your 3 tabs, just to separate the mechs out a little bit. For this purpose, though, we're kind of, I'll say that we're playing this game in and around 3030 or something like that. So we'll just keep it to the IS introductory box set, and we will then decide our op 4 here. So we're going to choose something a bit crunchy because I'm going to have to get it up to 6,000 battle value. So let's just go for... straight away I can see the Annihilator there, so that's a pretty fun choice. So we'll say that these pirates have been to the Wolves Dragoons area of space and basically stolen an Annihilator. So let's put an Annihilator in. Oops, sorry, I've done that wrong. But this is a good thing because then I can show you what I've done. I've actually given that to the Dust Counters force there. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to go into Add Combat Force. And you see there's a tab at the bottom here to change it to Pirates. So when I do change it to Pirates now and I put the Annihilator in, so it's the 1E variant, you can see now he is a different colour when he appears. Oh, we don't want another one, so we'll get rid of you. And if you click on these tabs here, you can see you can then change the colour. So let's just give the Pirates a gold colour, just so you can see, so we can differentiate them on the map easily. Just a few things to check here. You just want to make sure that you are putting it in the right team. I mean, you can quite easily do that through colour coding. It's quite nice little feature that they've got in there. Shame it's not but a little bit more elaborate, but you have to remind yourself it's just by volunteers, so they're not going to spend massive amounts of time putting like primary and secondary colour schemes in, especially when it's just a top-down system, so you wouldn't really be able to appreciate it anyway. We'll add a lance in here though, so that's quite a hefty bit of battle value there for the Annihilator. So we'll add in, let's add in a Banshee as well. Let's see what the battle value is on this. Just a quick note on all these little, this little sidebar here. You've got basically you get all the TRO data in there, which is super useful. Quirks as well. So quirks is a really good one. If you are running like campaigns, then you can some actually are like campaign quirks. Like they'll be cheaper to outfit and repair, and then some are like bonuses or negatives that you can get on the tabletop. I think the Banshee though just looks like it's got which rugged, which I can't remember what that does, and it's got a bad reputation, which I'm completely going off the top of my head here because I generally can't remember, but I imagine it's something to do with if you're selling on the mech, then you probably won't get as much money for it or something like that, or C-bills. So we'll give in, which is the Junker Banshee. I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, it's this one. It's like a 90-ton mech with an AC5, a PPC, and a small laser. So we'll pick the junkier one. What have we got now? We've still got 3,000 to pick here, so we're going to have to probably keep this to assault mechs. What else should we have? Let's give them something silly like a Highlander. This is the Succession War Highlander, so I think this is the AC10 variant. Yes it is, yeah. There you go. So it's got the AC10 instead of the Gauss rifle. And then we've got, we've just got over 1,000 points now, so we can choose something slightly smaller. So let's go for something like a Hunchback, something like that. See if we can find a decent one to put in. So the 4G is the AC10 one. Yeah, lovely. I mean, 5915. Yeah, that for the purposes of just saying, of just giving this an example, that's perfectly fine. You can see it actually populates them with, like you can if you want. I'm not going to do this, but you can go and assign them names and everything else. I've just got this on like auto assign though, which I think you do through if you go to View and you go to the game options, you should be able to find. Oh, sorry, it's not the game options. It's actually the client settings. And there you will see there's this generate a random name for pilots of a new unit, so you can actually turn that on and off as you see fit. I think if you were doing network games, obviously you might all want to do your own forces and then like load them in, much as I did like with the Dust Counters, just for the sake of keeping things quick. But you can obviously add to that as well. So like I could load up the Dust Counter force, and I could add in a combat unit, switch back to Dust Counters, decide that I want to play some vehicles. So go to like tanks, and I don't know, give them a bulldog or whatever. A standard bulldog, select, and there you are. So then he becomes part of the Dust Counters force there. Dorothy Walker. But yeah, we're not going to do that this time, so we'll just delete that out. One thing I'd suggest you do before you actually get into a regular game is just have a look at the game options, the tabs here. Now there are quite a few of them, and I suppose it's one of those things, if you're relatively new to BattleTech, or you've never kind of experimented with the expanded rule sets, you might want to kind of keep away from this one a little bit. But generally speaking, it's actually, I think, a really good idea just to have a look through this, because there are some really nice like advanced rules. So if we kind of just go into you see on the bottom slide here, you've got this advanced rules and advanced combat. I've got a few. I think it's the advanced combat. I've got them turned on. So I've got here tactical ops burst fire MGs. That's machine guns. So if I flag over this, it says MGs maybe use burst fire that inflict 1d6 damage. You also, just like on the expended rules, you do 1d6 of heat as well to yourself, as well as then 1d6 damage. That actually makes machine guns a lot more powerful not a lot more, slightly more powerful on tabletop. And another one, and this is a really important one that I advise everyone to take, is what they call rapid fire auto cannons, what I call double tap auto cannons. That really gives the auto cannons a little bit of extra flavour. There are plenty of other ones here though that you can pick or unpick. They even got like unofficial rules in, so you can see increased inner sphere ER range, laser damage, increased AC damage. So you can really make this game as interesting as you want, really, and you could potentially click all these and just go absolutely crazy with it. For me though, I think if I do play a little bit more on this, I might start adding a few more in, but at the moment I'm happy with just the double tap AC weaponry and the expanded rules for machine guns. But have a look through that anyway. There's loads of different tabs here, so you can get there's ones for ground movement if you want to play aerospace. Lots and lots of things. It's worth just, I think, taking 15 minutes just to go through this to get the game that you really want. So what I'm going to do is then we'll go to select map. So we've got our two forces here. So you can see they're both in team 1 and 2. One of a really important point to note is you do need to put your start destination on there. Otherwise, it will default to any, which means you can just put your mech or vehicle anywhere you want on the map. To change that though, if you're just playing a 2-player game, we'll just say that the Dust Counters are going to come in from the north there, and then we'll say that the pirates are going to come in from the south. So just so you can see that again, if I go to, you see we've got northwest, northeast. There's also any and edge as well. I think edge, I've never used it before. That might just be for any edge on the map. That's useful actually if you're playing a campaign where you want a defensive force in the centre. You can see there's a centre tab, and then maybe you've got another force coming in from anywhere on the sides. It's like a defence mission for the ones in the centre. So you can do quite interesting things with that placement. And you can see there it says here N and S for north and south, just so you know that's come through, and that's what will happen when we start the game. We then select a map. So there are loads of different ways you can do this. The regular old BattleTech map here that it's got is the 16 by 17 grid. You can see there are absolutely loads of these, but you can change it. So you can you can go insane and do a 160 by 170. See, there aren't that many of them though. You can do random or surprise. But if I just gone to the map, these are insane. We can actually do a view of the game board here as well. Might take a while to load up though. You can see this one's got I don't even know. It's like an inbound lake, or is it an estuary, something like that. It's absolutely huge. You can see there, it's that's a huge map, absolutely massive. So yeah, plenty going on in that one. We're not going to do that this time though. We will just go back to the regular old, 16 by 17, isn't it? Classic BattleTech. There we are. You can also do, I think you can. I've not really experimented this, but you can go in here and actually create your own maps. which would be pretty cool, obviously. I don't think I'd ever go into it on that level, though, myself, but, you know, to each their own. I've just seen one here. This is in one of the... I think all these are official. So all these map sets, you can see some of them come in from, like, a Game of Armoured Combat, from the Clan Invasion. They're the two most recent. You've then got this, like, German one here. So this is Little Bighorn, which is presumably named after the General Custer battle. So maybe someone's, you know, gone in and worked out the topography on that and then put it in here. I've got no idea though. Let's see what this looks like. There we are. Very nice. It's just like a nice like hill at the centre, and then you come in from the sides. I think we might do that one actually, just for... It's quite a nice little map. That it's not too complex. Some of these maps can get quite elaborate though, and you've got to be, especially if you're new players, you've got to be quite careful. I'm just looking at things like this. So you see we've got like a level 1 here that then goes up to a level 3. So obviously you can't, like with a mech, scramble up that 2 level increase. You'd have to go to level 2 and then up to the level 3 there. So you might have maps where like there are loads of different buildings and hills, and there are like dips in the map, and you know, like you might have like an 8 level variance. That's gonna be tough for newer players to navigate. So probably better starting on one like this, which is just nice. It's got, you know, it's got the terrain features in there. It's got some I mean, I don't even know if they're like listed as trees or if it's just like some kind of random foliage. I'm not too sure. But either way, we'll give that one a try anyway. So when I click now into I'm done, all being well, this will work. So you can see it basically. Now this just literally is classic BattleTech now. So we've gone into this is round 1, obviously, and we're in phase 1, which is initiative. So we've both rolled off for initiative. I got a 6 and the pirates got a 10, so the pirates will be moving first. Very handily then you get this turn order for movement here. So you can see, because I lost initiative, I move first. You obviously, when whoever loses initiative, whoever wins initiative, they will always have the last say, so they will always move the final unit. There are other things here. You see this is like wind direction, wind strength. You can actually change all that when you're setting up the maps, but I'm not going to go into that level of granular detail here. The final factor here is just it gives you like a BV remaining. Now I think I've set the game that I think I've put it at like 75% destruction means that you automatically win the game. That's obviously not like an official rule in BattleTech. In fact, classic BattleTech is you've got to destroy the Op 4 completely. I like get them to eject or destroy the mechs and kill the pilots, whatever. There are like the forced withdrawal rules as well, which I do believe are automatically put in here, which is very good. So that means like if a mech takes like an engine and a gyro hit, it automatically has to retreat off the table. Or if it, I think, loses like a side torso, it's got to do the same. Doesn't mean that the mech dies, but it means that you can't really use them in like an offensive capacity anymore. They'll retreat to their edge of the table, although they can still fire, and they are still counted as an initiative unit. So that's first phase. So now we get into deployment. So let's just have a look at what we've got here, just so you can see. We've got this is the general. Like, I don't know, little mini box. You might not be able to see this very well, just given, you know, like the recording quality. But because this text is quite small. But you can see we've got this like mini map, and then we've got like our like viewer here for whichever mech we are looking at. So what we can do is we can flip to next unit with this button down here, and you can see now it gives us the Lancelot, the Wolverine, back to the catapult. Oh, I'm missing a unit here. It's missed out my Enforcer for some reason. I may have deleted it by accident, but it doesn't matter. We're only testing here, so that's fine. So all you do is, what we want to do here is deploy. So you see we can deploy on the northern side. So we're going to let's put the catapult up on this level 3 because he has got the like the LRMs. You can actually change how to face if you press shift and then click into like the hex next door, then you can change which way you face, but we'll just face straight on and deploy. See, then he's deployed his forces, so he's put his Annihilator here. I am then going to deploy my Lancelot. I think I'll put him down on this level 2 here. And then, Banshee as well, and then I will put my Wolverine, place you back a little bit so you can jump. Oh no, there's the Enforcer. That must have been a glitch. Okay, fair enough. Enforcer will just stick down here, I think. So there we are. Deployment is done. Now the initiative phase now for round 1. So what have we got here? I've lost again. So they've rolled a 7. I've rolled a 3. So I get to move first. Now this is where it gets quite nice, this game. So first point to note is on view. I'd really recommend that you click in isometric view. I don't think this will naturally click through, but you can, if you turn it off, you see it becomes a very like two-dimensional map. Oh, it's not too bad because you've obviously got all the levels there. But if you click the isometric view, it just, you can see like very clearly where the extra levels are. Like it basically deep sets in the hexes that are below. So that's a really nice little feature. You then basically, I mean, this is just now absolutely like classic BattleTech like rules. So I lost initiative, so I go first. So let's move in the first instance with my Lancelot. Now he runs 9, and that's what they're famous for. Lancelot's very, very quick at 60 ton. Now the best way to, I'll just give you an example. So if I click over here, you see that will take me 16 points of movement. Now I can't obviously run that because it's too far. I only can run 9. So I will actually go to here. So if I just clicked on move now, I would literally just move to this point here, this where it says 8. If it's yellow, that means that it's a run move. If it's this like blue color, it's a walk. So what I'm going to do is, now one thing to note, if I click on any other square hexes, it will just kind of map me around like this. So, but if you escape, you can just get out of it. So I'm just going to run, I'm just going to walk to there, but I'm also going to then shift and click here just to face that. Now you see it turns yellow, so that means I've had to run to get into the yellow, and I want to do that because I will then get the run modifier. Also means that my heat will go up, and if I can shoot at them, that will affect my target modifier, but that's fine because, you know, this is just a demonstration. So see, there he goes, and you can now see that his name is actually like grayed out. If we go to our op 4, you can see that they moved the Annihilator, although it just looks like they've kept them like stood still. So if in terms of BattleTech, they've literally just like used them as an initiative point, and then they've thrown it back to me. So now we'll go, I think, with the Enforcer, and we're going to jump now. So the Enforcer is just a little jump. He does a 4 jump. So if you click on jump, and then you can go anywhere within 4 hexes. So you can see that's 4. But as just in Classic, you can turn anywhere you want when you jump. So we'll turn just to look south here. So we'll now move. And there he goes. And then he's moved his Highlander up. I think we'll go with the Wolverine next, and again we'll jump. Well, Wolverine is faster, so we'll go 5. Actually, let's just escape that. We'll go there. There you go. And then he has, he moves last, yeah. So he's moved his Hunchback into this weird move on the Hunchback. He's kind of put it below the this 2 levels, so it will protect him from being fired at, but it's just an odd one. It's going to take him a long time to get into the battle from here. Now with the catapult, now just to explain these green, so you can see there's like green and like different coloured hexes here. That's just what the catapult can currently like see. You can actually put this on in view, so I think it's fields of fire. No, sorry, that's when you shoot. I'll turn that back on. Is it firing solutions? Can't remember which one it is. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, should really have researched that, but never mind. Yeah, basically, I think this is... So if I kind of click here, everything changes, right? So I can... Let's just say we jump with the catapult here. You see, they all change colour. So, like, there are certain areas, like this darkened area, which I can't see because of, like, hills or woods or whatever else. So, something to keep in mind with when you are, like, moving around. But I will actually just jump in here, turn him there, and then we'll just get in the firing phase. So, now we are in firing phase, and so we'll start with the catapult, and that was good because that got me into that beautiful range bracket with the LRM 15s for the Highlander there. Although the modifiers will be terrible because I've jumped. If you hover over it, you'll see that it ran as well. Did the Highlander, so he's going to have a really big modifier there. But I am attacking with Lemuel, and Lemuel does have Gunnery 3, so that's a little bit better. But this is really simple now. Now, one of the most important tactical things in BattleTech, you always want to attack from like high level weapon damage to lower. LRMs are slightly different because they cluster. I'm not going to go into that because it's all tactical. But basically, if you were shooting with an AC-20 and then you had an SRM attack, you'd always want to shoot with the AC-20 first and then use like your SRM 6 later on. That's just because the maximum chance of scoring like multiple crits. For this purposes, we're going to pretend that all that's irrelevant because I don't want to go into too much depth. But you can see here these modifiers on range. These like little colours here are so useful. So we've got minimum range bracket here. So we're not in minimum range. So if any of our Op4 was in this area, we'd take penalties to hit. In fact, the Highlander is in the perfect place. This is short range for an LRM, which is 7 hexes. Anything above that, then up to 14, I think it is. That's then medium, and then 15 to 21 is long. So we're hitting at short range. So we don't have any modifiers for range. Super useful, but we have got a lot of modifiers for jumping and everything else. So if we click on this chap here now, you can see this is without LRM. Actually, we only need a 7 to hit. So that's really, really good, actually. And it tells you the mods there. So 3 gunnery skill, 3 for me jumping, and then +1. Oh, sorry. Okay, so he only moved the 3 to 4 hexes. So sorry, I think it might be an Alpha Strike mindset at the moment. Obviously, in Classic, it's the amount of hexes that you move as opposed to whether you are, to the modifier that you then get against your Op4. So that's right. So that's really good, actually. So that's a 58% chance to hit. So all you have to do is really simple. You click fire. You click fire again. Now you can see heat build up here. So we have the catapult. The C1 has 15 heat sinks. We've done 14 already, so that's because of the jumping that we've done plus the 2 LRMs. If we go to the M laser now, you can see the M laser, everything changes. So short range is obviously 3, medium range up to 6, and then anything above that up to 9 inches is long. So we're hitting at long, which gives us a pretty terrible 11, which is only an 8.3% chance to hit. So for the extra heat that we'd expel there, it's absolutely not worth it, so we will ignore that. So what we do then is we just click done. So that's the catapult done. We will then, let's see what we got. We've got we'll do the Lancelot next. So PPC damage is, we got the minimum range here up to 3, so we don't have that, thankfully, so that will be pretty nasty. Short range is up to 6. We're just outside that, unfortunately. So I think we'll be 8s to hit here. 9s to hit. There we are. 27.7 chance. Let's see what it is with the L laser. That's a 9 as well. So I think, again, because we've got those nice double heat sinks, because it's the Star League Lancelot, we'll shoot. Yeah, we might as well shoot with this. So obviously there's no ammo or anything like that. So that gives us 12 heat. Another L laser gives us 20 heat. I think I'll then not bother with the other L laser. And the M laser should be on an 11, yeah. So that's not worth it either. So we'll play done with the Lancelot there. Who next? Wolverine next. So again, I think we're just going to... it's always good to focus fire in BattleTech, so we'll focus fire at the Highlander. This is a different variant of the Wolverine. It's the 6M, so it drops the AC5 and it puts in the L laser instead. Much better variant of the Wolverine, actually, I think. Not great though. You see, we jumped, and this is actually the pilot here is Samantha, and she's not as good gunnery as Lemuel. So on the L laser, she's hitting at an 11 plus, which just really isn't worth the heat there. So SRM 6s probably won't even be able to hit. Yep, this is 13. L laser will be a 13 as well. So we might as well. I mean, we've got nothing to lose. We might as well go for the L laser. So that gives us 8.3% chance to hit, but we don't generate any heat off the back of that, so why not? There we are. And then finally, we've got our cheeky enforcer, which I think is going to have trouble to attack here, but click on him anyway, see what we get. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Okay, so it's a 10 for the L laser. What is it for the AC? That should be a 10 as well, actually. Yeah. I think we'll just fire with the AC this turn. Yeah. Oh, sorry, no. It morphed onto, it jumped onto small laser, and we can't hit with that because the small laser has really terrible range, as you can see. I'm not going to bother with the L laser. We'll just save the heat. Now that's done. That's the weapons phase over with. So you can see all the kind of, it's showing us there who is attacking at what. So you can see while we've been choosing who to fire with, the enemy's been deciding as well. So the Annihilator's shooting at the catapult, the Banshee's shooting at the Lancelot. The Highlander will shoot now, right? Yeah. So that it went too quickly. I couldn't see. And then, I mean, this is again. Keep in mind, this is just basically a text game now, so it just tells you what all the damage is. So we'll just work through this. So you can see, first up, we have weapons fire for the catapult. So this was an LRM 15 at the Highlander. It needs a 7, and we rolled an 8. So we hit with with both weapons, which was very nice. It then tells us, like, obviously if you're playing with LRMs, you get cluster hits. So it hit with 9 missiles on the, yeah, that's right, 9 missiles on the cluster table. So it did 5 to the centre torso, 4 to the left arm. Then hit with the next one. So we got a 12 actually. Rolled box carts with that LRM, and then we got 5 damage to centre torso, 5 damage to right arm, and 2 damage to the right arm again. So that was nice, but it is a Highlander, and it's very crunchy because it's got very good armour. Next up, we had the Lancelot, who looks like he has no luck at all. So the PPC needed a 9, got a 4, got an L laser there, needed a 9 and got a 7. Next up, we got the Banshee. Okay, this is interesting. So first up, nice and easy, the first one. The PPC shot, needed a 10, got a 5. He then double tapped with his AC5, which I'll do. I'll probably play through one more round and then I'll end it because that's probably good enough demonstration of what you get in here. But you can see here the damn thing jams. So if you roll a 3 or a 4, if you go for a double tap with an AC weapon, it automatically jams. So that AC5 is now out of action for the game. Had he rolled Snake Eyes though, it would have actually exploded. It would have done 5 points of damage. The AC5 shell would have exploded when he tried to double tap, and it would have done 5 points of internal damage and forced a critical roll. Next up, we got the where are we? Lots going on here. We got the Wolverine next. He was large laser, needing 11, got an 8. Annihilator looks like he did some nasty damage to the catapult there. So it's the PPC variant of the Annihilator. So he needs an 8 and he rolled a 10. So that's 10 damage to the right arm. And then he got a PPC, needing an 8, got a 9. That's nasty. It's 10 to the centre torso. But he then missed everything else. So it's 4 PPCs on that thing. So he'll be cooking now. He just literally alpha striked me. So he's going to have insane heat problems. And then he fired a medium laser, 2 medium lasers. They both missed as well. Enforcer, unlucky, needed a 10, got a 9 for the AC 10. And then the Highlander missed everything. So yeah, AC 10 at the catapult missed, medium laser missed, SRM 6, LRM 20 missed. Now, okay, this is where it gives you like extra spiel here at the bottom. So the catapult must make 1 piloting roll for 20 plus damage. Great. So he needs a 5, rolled an 8. Perfect. The Highlander needed to do the same, but he failed. So he rolled a 3, he needed a 6. Because let's see what we've got here. We've got, what's the modifier there? Oh, that's interesting. They're playing, that's the alternative rules, I think. I didn't even know that they were built in automatically. So in the alternative rules for piloting skill rolls, if you get plus 20 damage, you get a plus 1 modifier. If you then get 40 damage, you take a plus 2 modifier to your piloting roll. I don't think that's standard in BattleTech. I think that is I keep saying expended. That is an expanded rule that you can use. Now, because he got that 3, he falls over, so he'll be prone now. And he falls on his right side, suffering 9 damage. That's nasty. And then, so 5 to the left leg and then 4 to the left torso. The pilot of the Highlander must roll 6 to avoid damage. He rolled Snake Eyes and he failed, so he's got 1 damage point on him now for the pilot. He then, though, had to roll a consciousness check, and he rolled a 12, so he absolutely busted the the check for that, which is a shame for me, because if he'd have failed that, he would have been prone, and he would have been what do they call it? Like I can't remember the actual word they use now. Basically, a target that I can actually pick my my target to hit. I just can't remember the word. It'll come back to me in a second. Anyway, so we're done here. Heat phase now. I want to see that. Oh wow, that's, oh my goodness, look at that. That Annihilator is mad. So it's got it's got 41. That can't be, I don't know. I mean, if I've picked a really magic Annihilator there, maybe so. Gains 46 heat. So he literally Alpha Strike did 5 heat. That's a crazy Annihilator. And then the Highlander did 8 heat as well. The Highlander's in a lot of trouble here, actually, because he is prone. So now we should, yeah, so we're in round 2 now. So we're back. I'll do one more like round, and then I'll wrap it up. So I lost initiative again. So I got a 5. The Pirate's got an 8. So the Highlander, you can see, is prone, and he fell looking the wrong way. Now, that doesn't mean that you can rear shot him. Like, I can't go with a Lancelot here and rear shot. I think it will automatically always hit on their front side, which makes sense. It wouldn't be fair to do otherwise, really. Again, especially like in tabletop, it just wouldn't work, because you have to put it on its... you know, like weird. Like, it'd be very difficult to denote where the backside was if you were kind of laying it on the table. So that's fine. We move first then. So now, as always in BattleTech, the key to success in BattleTech is the movement phase. When you learn that, you start being able to play the game a lot better. What I'm going to do here, though, I think... I mean, this is I'm up against a very crunchy opponent here. Especially that Annihilator is absolutely insane. I had no idea it was that good. I'm going to have real difficulty taking that out, actually. But always the best thing to do, I suppose this is more of a tactical thing here, but because I lost initiative, I have to play a little bit defensive on this turn. Like, if I just go in now full hog, I will probably die. But what I need to think about is almost like a sacrificial lamb, or give them a target which I'm willing to kind of just let them have. And in this case, it's definitely the Enforcer. So we'll go to the Enforcer, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk him. So it'll be 4. Just walk him here. So his big guns, obviously the AC-10 and the large laser. So he's in, like, he should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he's in medium range with the AC-10. So I can double tap that as well. Hopefully do some damage. Obviously, he's got to move his Highlander as well, but I have to take a bit of a risk here and just assume that, like, the Highlander's he's not necessarily going to fail his, you know, his ability to stand up, but he can't move, like, very far anyway, because it'll take him 2 points of movement to stand up, so he'll only be able to get to, like, here anyway. So he's gonna, if he does stand up, he'll come after my Enforcer, I guarantee it, and I'm going to focus fire the Highlander. So I'm going to move here, and I'm hoping that everyone then just piles into the Enforcer, because he's going to have a low target modifier. And while they're doing that, it's like chess. I will then use my others to focus fire on the Highlander and basically sacrifice an Enforcer for a Highlander. So we'll move him up. Then to move next, so he's just kept the Annihilator there again. That's really weird. I mean, I can just basically... I mean, he's got PPCs. I suppose that's why he's doing it. He can just ping off PPCs, doing 5 points of damage a turn, and he takes no modifier. So all my guys are going to have to move here, like, quick as well. They're going to need a decent TMM, otherwise they're going to get wrecked by that Annihilator. We'll do let's have a look what we got next. We'll go with a Wolverine next. Now, are these trees? I'm not even sure. No, they're not. It's just shrubbery. Because you see, you can just move through it with... Oh, no, sorry, it is trees, because it's going 2, 3, 4, 5 into trees. Okay, yeah. Let's just escape that. Go there. So we'll do that. I think we get a nice modifier then being in the trees. We don't take a great modifier on movement, but it does mean that he can then attack the Highlander. So we'll move you in there. He then stood up with a Highlander. So that's exactly what we wanted. So that's got no TMM now. So he just stood up. and everyone now is going to focus fire on this poor lad here. Now, what I want is with the LRMs, they want to be in 7. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry, count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if the catapult just like wings its way here, I don't want to. I'm really. That annihilator is nasty. If I get behind the trees, I don't think he'll be able to shoot me there. It's difficult to tell. Okay, I can go there, maybe get out of the range of the annihilator. Not range, so it might be blocked off. He's got level 1 there, and he's got those 2 trees. I play a different rule set in Classic. Like, I don't play on Hex Grid, so I'm not entirely sure. It's still going to be probably going to be an 8 or a 9 to hit with PPCs though. And what I'll do is I'll then torso twist my catapult so that he can then LRM 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 6. That's going to be minimum range. Let's see, can we get that? Yeah. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do that. We'll just move you there. Again, it's that you play. Oh, wow, he just sprinted with a hunchback. Right. How did he manage to do that? Okay, no, wait. That was not a legal move. Unless was there some kind of scrambling in Opera? There might be some kind of expended, like, extra rule where you can get up 2 levels. I didn't know that. I thought the hunchback would have had to go around. So that's bad, because now we're going to take, I think that's the AC 10 variant, so it's not too bad. With a Lancelot, though, I think I am going to move... Can we get in the trees there? Yeah, I think we'll go there. So I'm hoping that everyone just kind of smashes into the Enforcer here, which is probable, because he's got the like the lowest TRO, and the others are in trees. We're not in rear there. Rear arc's like here if we move the Lancelot. We're in the right arc, so that's fine. So we'll just move you up. Yeah, okay. So he needed a 5 and he got an 8, so he stood up. So that's fine. And now I should be able to twist. And I can't. Oh, I'm blocked by the woods. Of course I am. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, okay. Well, I've royally fouled that up, but that's fine. My bad. I was thinking about what the Annihilator could hit and what I couldn't. You see, how I've got like an Alpha Strike rule, basically, in how I play. Like tabletop, in that like the trees are just like single units, so you can fire through them. You just take like the terrain modifier. In Classic though, if you've got those 2 trees together, then you can't fire through them. So we're just going to have to play done with the catapult. The Lancelot can fire though, and should have some really nice modifiers actually against the Highlander here. So let's go and we'll do a torso twist. Again, all you do is just like when you turn in, if you shift and then click, then you get the full torso twist. Lovely that. We've got a 6 with a PPC, so we'll fire that. We're just going to Alpha Strike here, actually. Doesn't matter about heat. I'm going to stop it soon anyway. And then everyone is just going to focus fire on the Highlander. So that's 6s, awesome. Oh, does he have to torso twist? Yes, he does. Oh, is he another one that can't see? Oh no, sorry, this is weird. Yeah, okay, let's just Alpha Strike. There we go. And then onto the Enforcer. Now, this is what I wanted to show you actually. I don't care about obviously how I do here. It's just a training game, but I just want to show. We'll fire with the L laser, which needs a 5 to hit. We won't bother with the S laser because it's rubbish. In fact, we can do a secondary actually. In fact, this is good because I can show you how to do both. So an AC 10. Now, if we click on mode in the bottom left here, you can see we go on to rapid fire. That means the same rule. So if I roll Snake Eyes for that, the shell explodes and I do 10 points of internal damage. to the Enforcer. If I roll a 3 or a 4, the gun basically jams, and then everything else is the result. So I need to hit the Highlander, only a 5. What happens then is you roll on the cluster table for 2s. So I think if I roll, I think I need an 8 plus on 2d6 to get the two hits of 10 damage. So we'll fire that. And the S laser, now I should be able to target the Hunchback, and you see here we get a secondary target modifier. Now because it's in the same area as or the same field as fire as the Highlander, you don't take like a +2, which is you would get usually, I think, if I remember the rules correctly. You see, I need an 11 to get it, but why not? We'll see what happens. So, Pirates first then. So, the Hunchback needed 7s, rolled 6. That was with the AC 10, so that's good for me. The medium laser needs 7 and got an 8, so he got a hit to that. So he did 5 points of damage to the centre torso. He did 5 points of damage to the centre torso with another M laser, and he did 5 points of damage to the right leg as well. He fired actually he alpha strike there, so he's going to be cooking absolutely. So he did all his M lasers and his S lasers, but he missed that final M laser and S laser. Lancelot next. Where is he? So fired at the Highlander, needed a 6 with a PPC, got 11, so that did 10 points of damage to the left leg. Large laser needed 6, got a 10, so that's 8 points of damage to the left leg. They're so meaty, the Highlanders. I mean, they're just absolutely soak up damage. Large laser again needed 6, got a 7. So we did tons of damage there, and we didn't get into any armor because it's just so well armored. Wolverine next. So Wolverine on the again on the Highlander, focus fire. It's always the best thing to do in BattleTech. We rolled the 8. That's 8 points of damage to the head. Wow. Okay, so we hit box carts on the head. So now it's got 1 armor remaining. So fortunately, it didn't do it didn't get into the criticals on the head. Otherwise, we would have had the chance of the cockpit explosion and kill the pilot, but that's not happened here. Everything else, it looks like the Wolverine missed. Oh no, sorry, no, it did left arm damage there with the M laser, so it needed an 8, got a 9. The Annihilator now, so presumably he did his full crazy PPC spam. Missed 2, got 1, so we've only got 3 points of armor remaining there on the left arm. But generally pretty bad. I mean, so one thing about their pilots, my mech warriors are better than them. I've got like some 3s and 4s and 4s and 4s. I think they're all 4/5s. Enforcer next. Here we are. So I want to see how that AC did. So large laser needed a 5 to hit, got a 7. So that's 8 damage to the centre torso. The AC 10 here. So let's just see how this breaks down. So we needed a 5 and we rolled a 9. But it looks like we only hit with 1 shot. So that means that it doesn't show you here, but on the cluster table, that means that we've rolled between 2 and 7. So we did 10 points of damage to the left torso. And the small laser hit as well. Wow. I should say, yes. So I mentioned it now. The Enforcer did amazing there. The Enforcer hit everything. And the S laser then got 3 points of damage to the Hunchback. And where are their attacks then? Is that it? Are we done? Did he not attack with the Highlander? Oh yeah, okay. So AC 10 missed and LRM 20 missed. I suppose he might have had a bit of heat or something like that. He's doing some heat management. Wow. Okay, I'm actually winning this, even though I've completely messed up with a catapult. Anyway, the Highlander then has to take a piloting role, but he succeeded. He got a 7. You can see though that his again he takes that +1 modifier to. I don't. You know, now I'm thinking about it. That might be actually in the base rules. I can't remember. I do know that there's an extended rule where if you get like 40 plus damage, then you do a +2 on your modifier. Anyway, he succeeded it. So we go back into this now, and everyone's starting to cook a little bit. So the Lancelot's on 5 heat, Wolverine's on 5 heat, Enforcer's on 4 heat, Catapult's on none because he didn't fire. Their Highlander is cooking. You can see the picture of him changes. He's got steam coming off him now. So anyway, I'll wrap this up now because I think you think you get the gist. But before I do that, I'll just go through some little extra things that you can see here. So why I'm showing this at the end is because I just wanted to show you how the depth that it goes into. So you can see that like what I did there, I right clicked on him and clicked on view. And you can see everything with this mech now is really affected with a Highlander because he's down to 2 to walk, 3 to jump, 3 to run and 3 to jump. That's because of his heat problem. So we can just look at everything that's wrong with this poor guy. So he's taken 2 hits. You're allowed to take several hits before the mech warrior dies, but every hit that you take, obviously, he's taken he fell over and then he took a head hit as well. So that's bad for him because every time that happens now, he has to roll a consciousness check, and if he fails that, then obviously he becomes. I still can't remember that word. Someone put it in the comments. It's flown out of my head. Basically, when your target is. Oh man, I can't believe I've forgotten that. It's just you get to basically designate which part of the mech you hit, and then you roll for that. And this is quite nasty for him. So you see, he's only got 6 points of armor left on that left torso. Now, why that tactically then, what you're looking at is you really need to be trying to get into that left field of fire, which for me, where we all currently are at the moment, is around this area here. That will just give a greater chance to hit that left torso. Also as well, one more hit on the head and I will pop the head, no doubt, because he's only got 3 points of internal structure there and 1 point of armour left. You see he's on 9 heat as well. Now, unfortunately, I don't think it gives us any rollovers for heat management. I mean, I kind of know it in the top of my head though. That will affect basically his modifier to hit and his the amount of. Well, you can see it already if you go to general. It affects that he's basically down to 2 walking because of that heat problem. These are just systems. So when you take crips, these will get knocked. Weapons again. So he's got that AC-10 on rapid. So he's risking it, just like I am, really risking it getting jammed. And what else have we got there? I think that's all of interest on that. But it's really the kind of armour you want to be looking at with your opponents. I don't think I've hit anyone else either. I think I've just continuously focused. Yep. We've just gone in very, very hard on the Highlander there. You can do it with your own mech. Like my mechs now will have their own problems. So you can see like the Enforcer's been hit quite a bit there. I think it was the Catapult that's had a few PPCs. Yeah, look at that on the arms as well, which is nasty because that's where his LRM-15s are. So he's going to have to be slightly careful. But should have shown the minimap as well. The minimap is basically you can max plus this up. That just shows the green units are obviously your allies, the red are the OP4. But that's it really. I think that's a really, really great program. I think it's especially fantastic if maybe if you find it like difficult to play with people locally because they don't exist or they don't want to play BattleTech. It's a really good it's a well-designed system. It doesn't take long to learn it. I think it took me maybe like an hour or something like that. It's super simple. So I can't recommend it enough, really. I think it's very, very fun. Again, you're not getting like a really sophisticated thing here. I mean, it's made by volunteers, so the graphics are all very much like rudimentary, but they're absolutely fine. I mean, it's just it's a tabletop simulator, basically. You can play across the globe as well with other people. I believe they run tournaments for MegaMek as well that you can join. I don't think I would ever be capable of doing that though. You just saw when I've recorded this, I really am a little bit out of lockstep with the classic rule set because I play a hybrid game between classic and Alpha Strike. So if I was going to play in a competition, I'd want to know the things that I had there. Can I hit my opponent if I go here, or is this random piece of scenery stopping them for reasons that I've just forgotten about? There's also a lot of extra minutiae in classic as well. If you're running on uneven ground or rubble, you have to take piloting checks. I think it does warn you though. I think I've played on games where you've got a road, and if you want to turn on a road while running, you have to do a piloting check, or potentially you might skid on the asphalt. So little things like that. I think if you really do have to kind of know the classic rule set if you wanted to play competitively. For me though, I don't really play competitive BattleTech. I play like for fun reasons. I'd play in a tournament like that and just see how it was, but I'd at least want to know like the basics, and I'd have to kind of go and dip back into all the classic rules just so I knew exactly what I was coming up against. Anyway, that's MegaMek. It's really good. It's free. Go into the link if you've not got it already and go and download it, because just worth a little look at. Even if you want to just go and like have like a full TRO for all the mechs, it's basically in there. So you can just go and have a look at like the lore for the Vindicator. There's also like a lab where you can go and like create your own mechs. That is not something I ever do. I've got no interest in creating mechs. I only use like the stock mechs. But you can do that, and I imagine then you can then import them into your own games. So that's fun, obviously, much like you can do on tabletop. So I think I'll leave it there, and I'll thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you again next time.